Hi guys. I am just waiting for things to load up through StreamYard into Facebook. So if you are joining me here, I'm just checking on my phone too that things are working. If you're joining me here live, say hi. Let me know in the world you are today. If you can see a link from StreamYard, then please press that, and then that will tell me who is actually watching live. So hi. There might be a bit of a delay as well, so we'll just wait for things to kick in, and just posting on my Instagram to let people know we're going live. It's all these things that have to happen when you go live have to happen at the same time. And when you're a one-person band, let's just double check that we are going. We have to do all the technical stuff ourselves when we're a one-person band, as most of you will possibly know if you're small business owners. Cool. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes for anyone to jump on for the live stream to catch up, and double check that I can hear myself as well. I can hear myself as well. There we go. We can, and we are live. Fantastic. Cool. So I'll just get sorted on my end and we'll get started, and hopefully you can bring your lunch. I can see someone's joined us there. Hello to those that are joining. Welcome along to today's workshop about creating an online course that your customers are begging you for. Today we're going to get into some really awesome stuff. I hope to keep this under sort of 40 minutes, I'm hoping, maybe even 30 minutes. And we're going to have some question time as well. I'm streaming from StreamYard through to Facebook today, which you may be able to see the little, whichever way it is, that way, the little logo up in the top corner. And what that means is that hopefully you can also see a link above this video that you can press to just confirm that StreamYard can see who you are, so that when you comment, I know who it is that's commenting. But if you don't find that, that's okay as well. And if you're watching the replay, then hi, you don't need to do that. Feel free to comment. You'll be watching this on Facebook, and I can come back to you with any answers if you have questions as well afterwards. So a little bit of housekeeping, guys, for those that are joining us live today. Also for the replay is actually relevant. I want to make sure that you're all in on this workshop today, and don't have any distractions, or you're not trying to multitask. Our time is so precious, guys, and I value your time spending it with me. I also know that your customers value your time, and your friends and family as well. So if you're doing multiple things at once, it's just not it's a disservice to your time. So please make sure if you're joining me today that you are 100% here, all in, even if you're watching the replay. No distractions. Close down all the other tabs on your computer. Turn on your do not disturb if you have to on your phone and your laptop, and make sure that we're all in watching. The other thing is that I just mentioned it before, but if you're just joining now on the live, which I can see someone is, make sure that you click on the StreamYard link. There should be a link at the top of this video or post that just, if you click on it, it allows StreamYard to know who you are, and therefore when you comment, I will be able to see who you are. Otherwise, I just see Facebook user, which is fine too. I can chit chat away to everyone. And finally, I want you to implement what you learned today. As I mentioned before, I think your time is so valuable. I know your time is so valuable. And there are a lot of workshops, a lot of free workshops and amazing value being handed out at the moment for people. There's a lot of temptation to jump on all the workshops and learn all the things, which is great, only if you implement what you put it into action, implement what you learn. Otherwise, it's just all stored up here. It's a waste of your time if you're not going to implement what you've learned, okay? So I want to make sure that you implement what you learned today, whether it's while we're on the call, on this workshop today, or whether it's afterwards. And this replay is going to be available in my Facebook page for you to rewatch anytime as well. So if you're jumping on now, say hi, let me know in the world you are. I know we have a global audience today tuning in all around the world. And a lot of people that registered for this workshop today I haven't spoken to before. So really great to have you here. And because of that, I'm just going to introduce myself as well to you. So kia ora. This is hello in New Zealand, in Te Reo Māori. Kia ora, I'm Kate. I am a traveller, a digital nomad, a volunteer, an auntie, a pet and house sitter, a businesswoman, and a content creator. Just to name a few things, that is me in a nutshell. And those pictures and that description of me will help you to get to know me on a personal level a little bit more. If you've been following me for a while, or we're friends, or we've met already, then kia ora, you'll know who I am and what I'm about. But these are the big things that are important in my life and who I am. So I'm also a woman on a mission to give more people some more time out of office. And that's why my business is called Out of Office. As a dedicated world traveler and business owner, I've learned that working hard doesn't mean being tied to your desk or office all the time. And I'm proof that absolutely anyone can learn to have the lifestyle that they dream of. If you haven't followed me for a while, then maybe afterwards you're going to go and see what it is that I get up to and see how I incorporate my travels into my business as well. After 2 decades of wearing so many hats within fast-paced industries such as tourism, events, conferencing, and hospitality, I began my entrepreneurial journey. And I know most of you joining this today will be entrepreneurs, small business owners in your own right. And you would have had that pivotal moment in your career as well, that you launched into your own business or the online business space that you're in. So in search of the elusive work-life balance, with an aim to support my love of helping other people in business, as well as my love for exploring the world, I developed my very own life by design in the form of a digital nomadic life, serving business owners all around the globe while following summer all around the globe. I'm a big lover of summer, if you didn't know me already. Okay, and basically my main goal in life, or my tagline, I guess, in my business is that I help established business owners to get their lives back, out of office by building and streamlining their online businesses using automation, delegation, integration, and education. I actually never realized until I created these slides how much shin I have and how I help people. That just rolls off the tongue. Cool. And yeah, I've been working with people in this business for the past 5 years and got some beautiful comments here from some of the people that I've worked with. But I've worked with dozens, if not hundreds, of clients on their online businesses, predominantly on the Kajabi platform, which is a big love in my life as well, but also just in the back ends of people's businesses with their integrations and systems. So hence why I'm teaching you today, based off all of this knowledge that I've got from all these wonderful people here. So once again, welcome. Let's get cracking. As a reminder, please stay tuned with me here. Make sure there's no distractions. Click on the StreamYard link before you comment so that we can see your name. If you're joining me live, I would love to see that. I will just check too that we are still streaming fine. I just got a text message from my dad. Convenient timing. And yeah, looks like we are. So just comment anytime, ask any questions as well. If you don't click the link in the top of the video here, then that's fine. Oh, I can hear me. That's fine too. So I will still be able to see your comment. I just won't know who it is. And as a third reminder, just remember to implement what you learned today. Okay, guys, I'm going to be popping up some banners to ask some questions throughout. So after you've introduced yourself, here goes the next one. Let me know what industry or niche you might like to create an online course in. I would love to know if you've already got an idea about planning an online course. Today is not so much about the planning, although I'm going to drop some little extra bonuses in there for you at the end. However, it's more about, I guess, figuring out the demand for an online course in your industry or niche. So let me know in the comments if you have an idea about what it is that you want to teach people, what your online course might be about, or just in general what industry you're in. And if you're wanting to keep it a secret, that's fine too. You can send me a DM afterwards. I'd love to know what it's all about, because I love hearing all the awesome things that people are teaching all around the world in all different industries. So hey guys, thanks for joining me. I can see some new people popping on here. Cool, let's get cracking then. Oops, I've got my mouse in the wrong place. Here we go. So to start off with, let's set the scene. I want to talk about why we might decide to create an online course, just to make sure that we're getting into it for the right reasons, and why we might not create an online course, like what's important in those two factors, okay? So first of all, why might you decide to create an online course as a business owner? When it complements your existing established business services. So if there's something that you already have that you sell, that's your main service, and it just makes sense to have this additional or income stream within your business. Okay, an example of this might be if you are an in-person yoga teacher and you're teaching people in person, you maybe are at full capacity in terms of your time. Therefore, an online course is an amazing option to be able to serve more of your clients, and it just complements nicely with what you're already teaching. Or it may be that you sell a product. You may be an author and sell books. Perhaps it's like a mentorship that you have as part of your book, that is your online course. Or if you sell a book about meditation, for example, then you may sell online course with meditation audios as well. So that's just where some examples of how an online course can complement your existing business. These are just kind of to get the juices flowing in case you're not sure why or who you're creating an online course for. Number 2, when it helps serve more of your customers faster and you're no longer the bottleneck in your business. This is an amazing place to be if you can just sort of get out of your head and your time enough to create the online course from the start. This is often one that people don't think about because they're too stuck in their business, too busy to even contemplate doing anything else. But being able to have an online course that your customers can jump on board when you're in demand anyway, you're at full capacity, means that they can jump on board, they can learn faster, they can start working with you faster, and you're not the bottleneck in them getting started working with you. So that's number 2. Number 3, to help free up your time and capacity. Who doesn't want that? Did we all get into business for that reason? To have some time freedom as well as serving our customers? Definitely when you start out in business, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of a temperature check on whether you should be creating an online course or not in a minute. But when we start out in business, we just need to ramp up, grow that audience, grow that customer base, and then you can get to full capacity working one-to-one, or if you're an in-person service provider, and or a product provider as well. So that can take up a lot of your time. So having an additional stream of income through an online course can help to free up your time if you're bringing in some more income from that place. Number 4, to give your customers flexibility and options to work with you. So this isn't always about you being at full capacity and not being able to work with them in person if you're a service provider, but this is about different budgets that people have and different timeframes that people have, or times that they need to have in their day to learn. If they work night shift, if they're a work from home mum, if they are a stay-at-home mum, if they work on the road, people want to learn in their own time capacity that they have. And so an online course, of course, is really great for that, similar to podcasts and any kind of audio as well. And cost is another factor. Your services may be too expensive for some people, and an online course can be kind of like an onboarding situation for people to start working with you, warm up to you, learn the foundational pieces that you teach, and then make the decision to come and work with you at a higher level, at a higher tier price. So and finally, number 5, it stops you from having to repeat the same information over and over and over and over again. If you have one particular service that you provide to people, I can almost guarantee that you're teaching or repeating the same methodology, the same foundational pieces over and over again to your individual clients. And so a really great way that some people don't think of for an online course is not necessarily to sell separately to customers, but to have as part of your program to free up your time and voice and repetitiveness is to have the same things that are relevant to everybody in the foundations of working with you as an online course for them to learn there and then come to the one-on-one coaching or whatever it is with you. It's also really great for corporates or people who have teams for onboarding your customers or onboarding your employees even, and teaching them. So think about that as an online course as well. Online course is quite a broad term for how you can utilize it. It doesn't necessarily have to be an online course that customers are coming in and purchasing. So think about that. It stops you from having to repeat the same information over and over again. Groundhog Day, right? Hi guys. So let's talk about why you should not consider creating an online course. This is really important because I have seen far too many times people put so much time and energy into creating an online course, which can suck up a lot of time and energy, and deprioritize. I can't think what that word is. Stop the priorities of other things maybe that are more important in your business and or life. And then they've launched an online course and got crickets and not sold it and found it really hard, and it's just been a big old waste of time essentially. So let's talk about that now before we start as to why you shouldn't consider creating an online course. Just a few points on this one. Oh, lost my mouse again. For the first one, you should not consider creating an online course if it's solely so that you can get some quick cash and passive income. Let me tell you now, an online course is never passive income. There is a lot of energy and effort that needs to be put in by yourself as well. And also, unless you have a really super hungry audience ready and waiting to buy, then the quick cash is not often a thing either. It often takes time to grow. You need to put a lot of effort into marketing, and even with a hot audience, which I'll talk about in a minute, there is still effort involved from your end. So money should not be the main priority when you're starting out building your online course. It may be the future priority for sure. Another reason why you should not consider creating an online course is that if you think that you can just set and forget the content and your customers entirely. No. Gone are the days, unless you're teaching a very specific thing that never changes, which is very rare these days due to technology updating and upgrading all the time, then you're always going to have that in-person involvement in terms of updating the content and keeping involved with your customers. A massive industry trend that I've seen coming out the other end of the pandemic is that customers are not wanting to just have an online course to go away and watch anymore. They need accountability. They want human interaction with the course as well. So a hybrid model often happens. So if you think that you can just create an online course, put it online and walk away from it, then that's not going to be successful for you most of the time either. It may be a future endeavor that can work for you after you've built up a foundation in multiple online courses or got the reputation with your online courses, but definitely not to start. And finally, why you should not consider creating an online course, number 3, if you have a new business with no audience or you have not tested the demand for the online course. Okay, unless you've got a hot audience and you know that people want that, they're asking you, they're begging you for it as the title of the workshop, then you definitely need to put some effort into some research and figuring out what that demand is. And if you haven't, and you're a new business and you have no audience at all, then you need to focus a little bit more on some other things, which I'll talk about in a minute as well. So now that we've established whether you should be creating an online course or not, let's talk about how your customers and how to know. Let's talk about your customers, reading from the slide, and how to know that they're begging for you to create an online course. So aside from the obvious, i.e. your customers are actually saying to you all the time, can you please create this online course? Then I'm going to go through just a few other ways that you can test, like temperature test and check and find out if there's a demand or not. And it's kind of like we're going to temperature check your audience here. So again, we've got some options here and you can decide which camp you're in. If from the previous slides, you think probably you're not in the right place to create an online course right now based on the previous slides that I spoke to, don't be afraid to stick around and hear the rest out, because I think that will help you to create and get into that space to create an online course that your customers will beg for. I'm going to drop a whole lot of hints, and I'm also going to add some bonus content at the end that's going to help you with the content creation as well, and easing that up for you and also making it the right kind of content for your audience. Okay, so let's get into the temperature check here. What's the temperature? I'm just going to change the banner here. If you feel free to comment, guys, answer any of these banner questions or anything that I'm asking along here as well. What's the temperature check of your audience? So if your audience is hot, if your customers are begging you to create the online course, so that's what I was saying, literally they're asking you daily. You have somebody saying to you, I wish that you would create an online course on this. It would be so much easier if this was an online course. Wouldn't that be great if you had an online course on this? You have inquiries in your inbox about it. That is a hot audience. That's people begging you, so long as it's multiple people, not just one person, not just your mum asking for an online course. Okay, so that is when you've got a hot audience. That's the temperature check there. So keep watching, and I'm going to still give you some great ideas to refine and create your course content if you have a hot audience. That's still relevant for you. Cool. If you've got a warm audience, that's when you've got a reasonably large audience. And by audience, I mean people on your email list, people on your social media followings, wherever you're marketing and talking to people, if it's in person, if it's online, you think you've got a large audience. If you sell something and you're busy with existing clients, then perhaps you even have a wait list, then I'd say that's a warm to hot audience at least. If you're in this camp, and that's the rest of the slides that I talked to today are definitely going to help you. So stick around. You've got a lukewarm audience. If you've got a medium-sized audience, and I'm not going to put any numbers on this because I believe that every niche has completely different numbers in terms of audience size. You could have 1 million followers on Instagram, but if nobody's buying your stuff, then that's an irrelevant number. So by audience, it's like people that are engaged and reading your emails and keeping in touch with you and then eventually buying. So if you've got a medium-sized audience and some clients, then we'll call that lukewarm, and definitely stick around to hear what the next few slides are going to help you to create that online course that your customers will be begging for. Cool. If you've got a cool audience, it might be just a small audience and a small customer base. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 clients, you've only just started out this year maybe or last year, then an online course probably isn't the right solution for you at this time. That's based on what we just covered in the earlier part as well. However, I would say that you keep focusing on your sales and marketing rather than an online course and building your audience and your customer base. But stick around as well, because these suggestions that I'm going to give in the next few slides may inspire some inspiration for you down the line as well, and some content to create to help you build that audience and get more customers, and then have those raving fans that are asking you for that online course down the line. So stick around, and same for if you have a freezing audience. So if you have no audience and no clients, then definitely there's some other priorities that you'll need to look at in your business first before creating an online course. Okay. And again, if you feel the need to stick around and hear about that, please do. But I don't want to waste your time. I would rather you go and focus on these sales and marketing activities that can help you build your online course. Okay. Stop watching free workshops that are not relevant to you right now. And that's why I mention this here, so that I'm not wasting anyone's time. So okay, let's move on to some action stations to test the demand. So, like I said, unless your customers are like banging down your door and constantly telling you that they'd love an online course in a particular subject, then here are some strategies just to test, not just for the demand for the online course, but also for what specific topic it is that's in demand. Because you might have a very broad business and that you teach yoga, for example, but there's a lot of different parts to yoga, and there's a lot of different styles of yoga, and there's a lot of different people that do yoga. So you really need to figure out what that niche specific thing is, because an online course can't be all the things. It really needs to niche right down. Less is more with an online course. You'll hear me say that a lot. So if you've got a warm or a lukewarm audience, then these slides are really going to help you. If you've got a hot audience, these slides are still definitely going to help you. You're probably just going to be able to move faster with your online course. And if you've got a cold or freezing audience, then feel free to stick around. But like I say, it's the sales and marketing that you still need to focus on a little bit more before considering creating an online course, and definitely before considering the demand for an online course with your audience as you grow them, okay? So if you've got a warm or a lukewarm audience, here goes some questions to sort of brain dump down and consider. And feel free to ask any questions at any time, guys. I'm streaming, if you missed the start, streaming through StreamYard today into the Facebook group. So if you make a comment, I won't see your name, but I will see the comment unless you've clicked on a link that allows StreamYard to let us know who you are. That's absolutely fine. If you're just watching directly in Facebook, then hi. If you're watching the replay as well, and feel free to ask any questions. But here goes some questions for us to talk to today. I want you, and you may have done these kind of exercises before when you were figuring out maybe your target audience or your target market for your business, but now we want to consider this for an online course. So if you've got a warm or lukewarm audience, you probably already know the answers to these questions, but you just might want to have a little bit of a dig deeper as well, and I'll talk to where you can find some of the answers to these questions. So what is your customer or audience's biggest pain point? What are they struggling with? This may be to do with what you already offer as a service provider. And therefore, you'd look to what can complement that in the form of an online course. What are their biggest pain points? If you are like a service provider consultant, what is the most common thing that people need help with or come to you for? Okay. And then following that, what are the most common frequently asked questions that you get? They kind of go hand in hand. What's the pain point? What's the most frequently asked questions? Okay. The reason I separate them out is that frequently asked questions can turn into essentially the framework for your course. So they can become the modules or the categories or the lessons that makes up your course. Frequently asked questions is a really great way. I'm going to share a really cool hack with you towards the end of this workshop today that is also going to help you with the framework of your course. But a frequently asked question list is really good too. Do you have, when people sign up to have a chat with you or to work with you, do you have a questionnaire that you ask people to fill in? And do you have some questions on there that the information that comes through there is going to help you with these questions as well? The biggest pain points and struggles or frequently asked questions. So have a look through those. If you, for example, if you want to work with me, you book a free call first. It comes through my Acuity booking system. You have some questions to answer in there, and I'm able to pull a report of all the answers to those questions. So I can see some really common themes coming through in the pain points or the questions that people are asking. Okay, what is your most popular product or service? If you only sell one product or service, then that is your most popular product and service. And you want to think about what would complement that nicely based on what are people asking for? What is it that you don't currently offer, that you don't have the time to offer, that would work really nicely as an online course that would complement? Okay, so the most popular product and service. Then you know what people are interested in. If you have multiple products or services, look at what people are most interested in, what people are buying, what's the trend at the moment. And then finally, another kind of pain point type question: what's stopping your customers or audience from growing? Think about in their lives. Like, I'm going to go real practical here. If you teach people how to crochet, what's stopping them from crocheting the next thing or from advancing into a more advanced crocheting? Is it that they can't get that knowledge? Is it that they don't have the confidence to do that? Is it that wool, I was going to say yarn, I'm not sure what the correct term is too expensive to practice with? Therefore, do you have an alternative option for them to learn? Okay. Is it that it's too expensive to sit in a workshop with somebody, or they don't want to sit in person in a workshop with somebody, they prefer to learn online? Okay, so what's stopping them from growing? Where is the current blocks that your audience have that you want to see them succeed? Of course, we all want to see, especially if you're in a service-based business owner, you want to see your customers, winning. And so what is it? Why is it that they're not winning at the moment? Could that be part of what you're teaching in an online course? Okay, just going to move through to the next one, which is a little bit more doing actions rather than sort of the thought-provoking deep stuff. If you've got a warm or lukewarm audience, and if you've got a hot audience and you just need to do a little bit more groundwork, then you could survey your audience and customers. There's some really great free ways to survey. One of them is called SurveyMonkey. It's an online product, free online website that you can create surveys on. Another one is through Google Forms. Literally, you can set up a survey with some questions. They may even be similar questions to what you have on your booking forms or wherever you're already asking your customers some questions, but obviously with the lens of thinking of creating an online course. Okay, so just ask some questions to get the info back from the customers, get it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. Similar, you can create a poll with 2 or 3 top options, whether this is via email, via a Facebook group or page that you have, in person, if you're meeting with people in person to teach. And the great thing about a poll is that you can kind of control the content of it. So you can give 2 or 3 options, because if you just ask the question, what would you like an online course about? You could get a plethora of what people want an online course about. So once you've done a little bit of the first questions there, you may be able to roll it around into 2 or 3 themes, and from there you can ask what do people want, and consider what will free up your time the most. Come on, we all got into online business, as I said before, for some freedom and time freedom and to be able to do what we love. So don't just create an online course just because your customers want that. It has to be something that you get pleasure out of as well, enjoy out of, because otherwise it's just going to be such a hard slog for you to create that online course. So make sure it's something that you're really pumped to teach as well. Okay. And finally, creating a waitlist. A waitlist, if you don't already have a waitlist, maybe for the work that you do, for the services that you provide, then you could put it out to your, I would say, your hottest audience or your closest customers, or audience that you think you would sell an online course to, and ask them, what's the expression of interest? That's what EOI stands for, if you weren't sure. What is the interest in an online course? How many people would be keen if you created an online course? Create the waitlist. It's a whole nother workshop I'm not going to cover today, but if you didn't know already, you can create the framework for an online course, sell the online course before you've even created the online course. And it's actually recommended that you don't put in all the effort of creating the content of the online course before you've sold it. So having a waitlist is really helpful for that. So I've just talked solid for half an hour. If I'm just going to have a little drinks break, blow my nose. If anyone's got any questions at this stage, please feel free to ask. As I mentioned earlier, if you would like to let me know what the temperature of your current audience is, or what industry or niche you're in that you're considering creating an online course, then I would love to know that. And if it's a secret and you don't want to tell anyone, then pop me a private message, because I would just still love to hear about it. And I can give you some hints and tips that might help you specifically in your niche as well. Thanks for joining, guys. We're going to carry on. If there's not any questions, I know there might be a lag, so let me have a drink. I'm just going to blow my nose as well. Hang on one moment. Here I go again. You didn't have to endure that. I took myself off audio. Got a little bit of a cold. So no questions in yet. If you're watching on the replay and you have questions, please do ask below on the Facebook replay here, and I'll be happy to ask. So moving through, I'm going to now give you some bonus content. So what we've just covered already is checking if an online course is the right option for you and your business, and if it's not. And also, what is the temperature check for your audience, and how to know if they want an online course if they're not already begging you for it at your feet, and how to do sort of like that research and groundwork to figure it out. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some bonus content purely because we've got time. I haven't had any questions yet. So in this bonus content, I am going to cover for you how to turn what you already know into dough, and also a time-saving and hack to avoid content block. Let me know if you get content block. I know the best of us get content block at some stage. So let me know if you do, and I'm going to show you a really cool hack for it that's just helped me tremendously in the last few months, creating content, not just for online course, but for anywhere that we are in our online business, and creating content for social media, blogs, emails, everything like that. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to talk about how to turn what you already know into dough. And I'm going to give a little example of how you can start to turn what you know into an online course. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this if you like, or come back to it on the replay, so that you can go through these questions yourselves. But basically, this set of questions is going to help you to create a plan for your content for an online course. Also, just to understand how you're going to name it, how the structure is going to be, how it's going to be sold to your audience, and what they're going to learn. Okay, this is sort of like my little content plan hack. So the questions that we're going to go through are, what content do you already have and where? I'm big on repurposing content. An online course doesn't have to be all fresh new content. You can repurpose, especially if it's obviously still relevant, but you already have it, and it is the information that your customers are wanting. Okay, what other content could be included in your online course other than what you already have? What will help them to achieve, your customers? What's going to be the end result? Where are they going to get to? How much time do they want to spend learning? For some people that's 12 months, and some people it's like tiny. I'm going to give some examples in a minute on this slide. What are the bite-sized pieces or stages to that particular subject? So once you've sort of framed what that niche is for the online course, what are the particular bite-sized pieces? Is it one course or is it multiple courses? You'll hear me say it all the time. Less is more for multiple courses. So, often your subject actually could just be multiple courses. And how does it make sense to teach it? Is it going to be videos? Is it going to be worksheets? Is it going to be audio? Are you going to have live calls with your customers, your clients on your online course as well? Okay, let's look at the example so that might make a bit more sense to you. The topic that I've chosen for the example is dog obedience. Okay, so what content do we already, so I am, say, a dog trainer. What content do I already have and where? I've just put dog obedience. I haven't really given much detail there, but perhaps I have a YouTube channel already, or I have created some social media posts and some blogs about dog obedience. Okay, maybe I've got a workshop like this that I've presented to an audience before. That's content that can be repurposed. Okay, to refine it into one topic, it's going to be how to get your dog to obey you at home and in public. This is very topical for me at the moment. What will it help your audience to achieve? It's going to help them to control their dog in the household and socially. How much time do I think my customers want to spend on learning that with their dog? Probably a few weeks to a few months. If you think about dog obedience training in real life, that would usually be done in cycles of weeks or months. Puppy school, things like that. Okay, what are the bite-sized pieces or stages that for the particular subject of dog obedience? Well, there's different kinds of dogs. There's puppy training, some simple commands, some praising versus scolding, and understanding certain behaviors in certain dogs. Those are the topics that I've just pulled out of thin air. So that now would create the framework for my course, or the specific subjects or videos that I'm going to create for the course. Is it one course or is it multiple courses? It's probably multiple courses because of the different scenarios I've put above. So one for puppies and maybe one for adults or rescue dogs. Okay. And how does it make sense to teach it? Definitely videos. We want to have some dog videos there, some checklists, a training manual or book, and maybe some one-to-one coaching available as well for the clients that need it. Okay, so that's just to give you an example there, guys, and you can come back and go through this slide and answer those questions for yourself and create a little bit of a content plan around your online course. And the next hack that I'm going to show you is for those that get content block. Now, this is a game changer. It has been for me. These examples on the slide are the different things that I've been able to use this for. I have not got an online course, but I'll show you an example in a minute of where the content can be created in here for an online course, but for writing emails, email marketing, writing social media posts, and just generally getting ideas for things as well. So this is an AI generated tool. And I don't want you to get scared of the AI. If you haven't used AI already and you might be scared of it, then this is a really simple way to get started and get the feel for it and just get some ideas on it as well. It's not a big whole World Wide Web chat GPT situation where you're not sure where everything's going. It's very specific to online course creators and creator space. So this free AI tool will help just to inspire you. You know, you may have heard with ChatGPT, excuse me, anything AI generated, you definitely need to put your own touch on it. Don't just copy and paste anything that comes from there, but definitely this helps to inspire you and get some ideas. So you can either take a photo of this QR code that's on the screen now or catch the replay, or I've just added the link as well into the banner here, so you can either copy and paste that if you're able to, or it's not too long of a link that you could type out. And here's what it's going to look like when you get into it. It's completely free, by the way. You don't have to sign up to anything. So you should be able to just go straight in and start. So for the course outline, what you do is you just, it's literally this simple. So I could type into here, and I might just see if I can change my screen share and show you. Hang on one moment. show you an example. So if I just scroll here we go. I've done an example here. So I've typed into the box how to get your dog to obey you at home and in public, just keeping in theme with the content slides that I showed you before. And here's what it's generated. Some various sections. So this would be for an online course. So the first category or module is called Understanding Your Dog's Behavior. Here goes some examples of the lessons and what they might include. And as you'll see, it's hovering the copy. So I can literally copy and paste this into wherever I'm creating my online course or where I'm creating the framework for my online course. And again, I wouldn't say copy and paste everything exactly, but it's just going to make you maybe qualify some of the content that you had already thought of and or see what you might have been missing. The other thing this is really great for is thinking about blogs that you could write with particular subjects about the online course or social media posts as well. And, you know, the rest of the tool here gives you those options as well to create social media landing pages there. It is hosted by Kajabi, but you don't have to be on Kajabi to use this tool. It's completely free to use. So I'll just jump back in. That is a lifesaver, real quick hack to start creating content or framework for your course, or even start creating marketing material to talk to your audience about your course as well. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to this one. So that is the little screenshot where you would start to enter your information, and it would pump it out for you. Okay. So you can grab that link from the slide there or just type it out, but it's absolutely free for you to use. Who found that good? Who found that useful? Who knows that they're going to create an online course? And who thinks they've got, what's the temperature of your audience? I'd love to know. If you can just chuck it down in the chat below in the comments, guys. I'd love to hear where you're at. Not sure why that slide hasn't loaded properly. I've got a weird bug. There we go. And let me know if you have any questions. I have taken almost 45 minutes of your time, which was the limit that I wanted to allow today. So give you 15 minutes before your next meeting or your next on the hour starts or on the half hour starts. That is all that I'm going to share today. I'll just wait around to see if there is any questions or any comments that people want to add. Please let me know what it is that you've taken away from today to implement. Don't forget that we want to implement what we're learning. So today we've covered when it's a good idea to create an online course, when it's not a good idea to create an online course, what is the temperature of your audience? Are they hot? Are they warm? Are they lukewarm? Are they cold or are they freezing? And therefore, what kind of actions can you take next to figure out if an online course is something that your customers want? Gave you some points there to go away and do some research on. Excuse me. And then some bonus content there just to help you with that content once you've got a little bit of research done and you want to start creating the content, answering those questions about the specific niche of your online course, and jumping on that awesome free AI tool that can help you to generate the framework for your course. So, Namahi, thank you so much for joining me today. For those that join me live, hi, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go now and have a big glass of water for this frog that I have in my throat. Thanks so much for joining me, and those that caught the replay as well. Awesome. Have a great week, guys.